Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B-Farm, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something nice for you today, so let me get this party started. I got nice stuff here for you, but it's all good. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Excuse me. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not, sorry, yeah, I'm going there, and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here too. Wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And always to my yacht be true. Ooh, I got some good stuff for you today. Right thinkers. Remember George said, the bigger the doctor, the bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. Okay, I'm about to give you a pill that'll cure all your ills. What's that? Know thyself. I'm gonna give you a lesson, right thing. Let's talk about the cure for all your ills is know thyself. Let me break it down for you. This is gonna be a good lesson, so let's go. I'm gonna start out in a minute before I go back to the front because I want to make this point right here. The ancient Egyptian prescribed one solution to all the problems of life. And they built an entire country, civilization, based on this precept. And guess what? The legacy lives on up to this very day. What is that? You ready? This is my profess this, and this is what I know. The solution is know thyself. Where can I got it from? Okay. They left us. Our ancient ancestors built pyramids, great things they've done, and they had one phrase that they left us. Know thyself. Well, yeah, that's the cure. They knew that. Watch this. And therefore, through what? This is the part that makes it work. Through self-knowledge, I'll tell you that's the best knowledge, all of the misconceptions of your mind, which have been led to degraded states of erroneous thoughts, negative concepts, conflict, and misunderstandings are now what? Washed away. Because you know. You don't have to believe, you don't have to think, wish, or hope. You know. Who? Thy, God, self, you. See, we're going, it's a play on words. And I'm trying to break it down so you can start. Oh, yeah, thyself. Yeah, you and him was one. Jesus has been trying to tell you that for 2,000 years. And they still misunderstand it. And, well, he didn't. Nope, misunderstand, like I said. And through what? The only way you're going to know God is through self-knowledge. One will discover what? The supreme happiness, which only comes from what? Inner contentment, aka Hotep, peace within oneself, and peace within oneself, which cannot, you hear that? Peace within oneself cannot come from external objects, people, things of the world. That's my point. And they knew that. a long time ago. But they also understood, excuse me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Now we're going to talk about forgiveness, hope, redemption, and healing the errors of the past to what? To become free from said past. Excuse me. Learn how to put it behind you. Move on, so to speak. Let's talk about it. I got a nice little lesson for you. Most people think of spirituality and of God in terms of what? Of sectarian forms of tradition from forms traditionally passed on by religious organizations. Not true. The supreme divinity is often seen in those religions, as a powerful yet fearsome being. Again, we humanize God, religions, okay? But they got this fearsome being that send people to eternal damnation, aka hell, for their sins. That wasn't our ancient concept. That's a religious view. However, we had a concept in the light of yoga philosophy and through the various disciplines developed by what? The yogic masters over, you ready? The last 12,000 years. The supreme divinity is to be understood in a much more universal and like psychological way. We not only discover the infinite compassion and love of the self, aka Supreme Divinity, who we really are, but through the various practices. Oh, it's going to take a few ways to get it right. Of what? Of the mystery system. They called the yoga or the ancient Egyptian philosophical system the mystery system because when the invaders came, we didn't allow them in. So it was a mystery to them. It wasn't a mystery to us. Like a Mason, I know the secret, I know the password, I can go anywhere. Okay, so we had to understand it. But which have been, their mystery system have been tailored for the various levels of human spiritual development. First level, second level, hierarchy. We do the same thing in the education system, same thing. We call them the mystery schools. How about that? The school we call them was mystery schools. Other people call them what? Yoga mystery system. Same thing. We taught esoteric knowledge. Now everybody's teaching exoteric knowledge. That's what religion's full of, exoteric, because they don't explain to you the eso. That's the pastor job, and some of them ain't doing a good job at that. That's ain't the lesson. Let's talk back. Excuse me, get back here. But they taught you human spiritual development, and it was all at different personalities. It's also possible to partake in the glory of divinity. You can be a worshiper of God. You can live right and do right and call it whatever you want. The fact that you're doing it, that's what you get rewarded for. And this is the goal of what? Netterian Mystery System, aka She Taught Netta and Right Thinker Philosophy. That's where I got it from. I learned that. I just added my twist to it to make it what I call Right Thinker Philosophy, but this is Netterian Philosophy. Understand that. No matter, and this is life right here, this is the lesson of life. No matter how low a human being goes in his or her existence, how bad they doing, even your boy P. Diddy, the practice of what? The mystery system will do what? With the correct understanding. Again, if you down and out, and a church come and pick you up and they dust you off and put you right, you're going to be loyal to that church. I understand that. So whatever you use to make that happen in life, I don't have a problem with that. If there's a dog that made you, I'm respectful, understanding why. Because you changed. Whatever made you change, don't make a difference. The fact that you changed, prove to yourself. Moving on. A lot of us need somebody to help us make that decision. Some of us have it built in. But you have to get to somebody and get the correct understanding and supplies to which is a sure way to what? Overcome any and all human ills. How? Self-knowledge, know thyself. Told you that in the beginning. But it takes a little time, okay? And what happens? All your human ills, your frailties, your failings, nobody's perfect, but this is true. Why? Because all individuals have fallen short. but we are all essentially what? One with the divine self. Ain't no different. It's just what you do and how you feel and what you think separates you from him. When you know thyself, you know ain't no separation. You are one with him. That's the key to as human beings moving on. But through a process of spiritual ignorance, they have what? Forgotten their true spiritual identity. They think they're human. We think this is it. So when I die, that's it. That's human thinking. Wrong thinking. But they identify with what and have turned to what? Negativity. Humans are not good people. Through the process of the mystery system or right thinking philosophy, watch this. You may now discover what? Your true essence. Thyself. That's my goal. And thereby unleashing what? God's gift and your infinite power that comes from within you, your soul. Like you say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yeah, but that's to God. Christ is God in you. Christ ain't Jesus. I ain't going there. I ain't going to play that game today. I'm going to teach this guy. I got a few things to go over. I'm seeing the clock. Let me beat the clock. So, with this inner power, once you gain knowledge and have that, use it the right. Again, knowledge of self is power. No, knowledge is power. Knowledge of self is superpower. Watch this. With this inner power, which comes from what? Your wisdom, your experience, and your self-effort, putting in your work. There you go right there. They use self-effort. I call putting in the work. Same thing. But you do this towards what? Cleansing the heart from what? It's negative emotions, it's bad feelings, it's negative thoughts of anyone, and can overcome what? Incredible obstacles. That's the concept of I can do all things. When you got knowledge of self, you can do all those things. That's what it's telling you. And this is the power that made it what? Possible for the ancient Egyptians. Why is this? This is the best part. To what? To create the massive pyramids, temples, sphinx out of what? Stone without modern machinery. And to this day, they were able to accomplish what? Everybody working together. Everybody on the same page. Excuse me. Everybody getting it done for the higher good. Taking one for the team, so to speak. Whatever you wanted to do, we're doing this. Okay, moving on. That was the idea. Watch this. And they were able to what? Accomplish amazing feats of engineering. That's just one of them. We reached amazing feats spiritually too. Watch this. And with modern society today cannot duplicate what they did as a group of people thousands of years ago. Why is that? Moving on. Even more important, they developed, again, here we go, my favorite part, a science, a spiritual development. That means they had something figured out. They proved out. Remember, science and religion should go together and work together. Why? Because it proved out, never mind what you believe. No, give me some facts and then we can work. So they already put it out of spiritual science. Again, the conscious, heart conscious is spelled SCONSCIENC. I keep telling you that. So it was scientifically proven. That's the point. And even more importantly, they developed a science of spiritual development, which has, watch this, influenced all of world's religions. Not this one, no, all world religions follow this concept, watch this, one way or another. And in the Netherrean book series, we show what? How the ancient Egyptian elements are still present in what? Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism. That covers all the bases. And everybody uses our philosophy one way or another. And the heart of the what? Of this science, spelled again science, of self-improvement, bettering yourself, raising your standard, being a better you, practicing for greatness, giving your best effort and achieving things that you never thought was possible. But the self-improvement is known to what? To the world. You ready? Simmer. It means yoga. Okay? To practice a science that's been proven. And in recent times, guess what? Yoga has been made popular. But from India, not from the Egyptians, but we the originators of it. So again, that's fine. When we talk about serpent power, they call it Kundalini. Same thing. By the Indian, practitioners. They put yoga on the map, so to speak, because they made it a way of life. Okay, they invest in it, they good. In order to become a master yogi, it took 7 years. Why? You had to master every level of the chakras that's in your body. That's knowing thyself. That's what I'm trying to get you there. We're trying to ease it up in you. But they spent 7 years practicing. Okay, 1 year for each level. Moving on. Conceptually, that's practicing a philosophy. Schools for that. Many people have been introduced to a yoga philosophy as a practice of physical exercise, this stretching and bending, but that's just one aspect. That's tantra. Okay, I know that. But watch this, for health and relaxation. They teach you how to stretch and how to bend, open up the chakras, all that good stuff. But in reality, yoga is much more than that. I know that. Physical health and relaxation are only the beginning stages of yoga, okay, which are necessary in order to make it possible for a practitioner to understand and practice the higher teachings of self-spiritual development. Sima yoga is a vast science of self-development that has been proven its effectiveness. You ready for this? It's been proven its effectiveness over the last 7,000 years. I gave this lesson about a while ago. Yeah, this is not a new philosophy. I didn't make nothing up. I just put my life into the experiences, into my lessons to teach from my perspective. But everything I got, this is where it comes from. And many people, however, are interested in yoga philosophy from the ancient point of view, but this is the perspective which we take in all our books and my literature I got, where here we relate to the teachings and the teachings and show you how other religions are in reality aiming for the same goal. I gave that religion with the categories of philosophy, yoga philosophy, and I gave the religious side. They both end goal was to enlighten you. That's why I said I understand the purpose of religion. And the uplifting, they all go the same. The uplifting of every human being is just by, it must be understood that though they are in a general sense seeking the right goal, and that's the truth, but watch this. The limitations and the dogmatic orthodox religions does prevent that from really happening. Why? They separate you from God. Every time I hear my pastors say, we serve a God that sits up high and looks down low, I'm like, I understand, so I go with it, but so in principle, watch this. So in principle, yeah, they're the same thing, but they are moving toward the same goal. And watch this. However, in practice, that is not so. Why? Because in practice, there is much contradiction right there in Christianity and religions, in the teachings and the exclusivity of their philosophies, in those religions that cause them to be hostile to each other and more to others. If we can't get on the same page, you don't believe nobody else. Problems. Pentecostals, man, I ain't got time for all that. Moving on. And since they do not include mysticism, they don't practice meditation, and the third level, which is the religious practice to have the mystical experience, that God experience, that enlightenment, they don't get you there. A lot of them say they do or try to do, but they don't do a good job at it. How about that? And if you see the stages of African religion, I got that book, and the spiritual development of their adherence is limited. Because once you believe something, and my philosophical gurus tell me, belief is the worst thing you can do. Why? It shuts off your knowledge, understanding of something different than what you believe. You become subjective, not objective. Moving on. That's a fact. And consequently, their followers are unable to realize the higher goals. Why? Because of the dogmatic ignorance or the bias and limited perspective of many religious or spiritual traditions. Moving on. But this Netherrean path is based on our ancient Egyptian myths. We use symbols and we practice by we practice for attaining the highest spiritual evolution, and does incorporate all levels of spiritual practice. You can't be a doctor and be ignorant of the thing that the doctor is supposed to know. So it's a level, again, process. They call them degrees in Masonic order. And don't you get that when you graduate? A degree, PhD, master degree. Yeah, okay, got all that too. But usually when when we at SEMA are contracted, he's his operation, his school, it is it's because there are somebody searching for answers to a long held spiritual questions. If you have a spiritual advisor, teacher, you should be able to ask him any spiritual question he should be able to answer. I'm just saying. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. But when they come to the Institute, they have questions about life. And because life has not produced happy circumstances, and for a lot of us, we don't realize what that's caused by, but it's usually us. Okay, the feathers. Okay. And there is an interest in anything that will alleviate the miseries and the sorrows of life that you're going through. That's the whole purpose of helping you out. And they're looking for a way out. That's okay. I got you. Our goal is to teach the ancient wisdom of true happiness, and in the teachings of common religion, these inner teachings are practiced daily and can be followed by anyone who possesses maturity, the sincerity, and the honest interest, desire to work toward self-improvement. Remember, it's all for you. And that's the lesson I'm going to end on right now. I got a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to shorten the lesson so you can digest what I just gave you. I'll be right back. And in closing, right thinkers, may y'all let it be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be right back with more.